All right, so there's been some breaking news in college baseball today that a kid named Alberto Osuna transferred from UNC to Tampa over the past year because he ran out of Division One eligibility, and then all of a sudden, at the beginning of the season, right now, Tampa had their first games literally today. He now is transferring to Tennessee. It is something that has quite literally never happened before. Like you ask any questions, do any homework. I searched through all the rules, everything. Nobody's ever transferred in the middle of a season like this. There's been guys that transferred after fall semester, but to literally transfer like the first day your team has a seat, the first day that your team is starting to play has never once happened. So we're gonna look into how is this even possible? Why has this happened? And is there a way that the NCAA can prevent it for the future? And then I'll kind of leave it with what I think this does for the dynamic of college baseball as a whole. So, to begin, this is Alberto Osuna. He played at UNC. That was where he was at last year. He was in the College World Series as the first baseman for UNC. Really good hitter. He started his career at Walter State, which is actually the same place that Ben Joyce used to play. So keep that in mind now that he's transferring to Tennessee. So it's like kind of the better players from Walter State tend to go to Tennessee after the fact if they're that good. And I mean, he put up really good stats. He hit 460, 107 RBIs, 25 homers as a freshman. Really talented player. If you look at his perfect game profile, he graduated in 2019. So he's actually 24 years old at the moment. And it's just kind of crazy news to see. I mean, obviously he's certainly a great hitter, but I mean, let's go to Tampa literally started playing today. Like he has no splits, no game log, like he didn't play today even though they have a season. So he's clearly actually transferring. And I mean, it's just sort of wild that he was JUCO Player of the Year in 2021. Really good baseball player. That's not the issue. It's just what does this do for the rest of college baseball is the big problem, in my opinion. And this kind of opens up a can of worms, in my opinion, since, like, what can you even do? College baseball and college sports, you shouldn't be able to transfer as your season just started. Like, there's not like a free agency thing like MLB. There's not a free agency thing in any other sport. How can such a thing happen? And from my understanding, they have this new waiver because he played junior college. They're not counting that as a year of eligibility anymore. So by him not doing the junior college, not having the junior college availability, and they had to make this in effect, it impacts anybody that's already has already blown years of eligibility that's in college baseball right now. If they want to use them, they can use them at other schools. So he was only allotted 3 years of Division One eligibility, and that's why he transferred to Division Two Tampa, which they're one of the best programs in all of college baseball. Like they could play any of the best D1s and hang and hold their own. So it's not a question of that. It's just how did this all happen? And from all the research I did, it's because the junior college thing where all the guys now no longer have any sort of eligibility restrictions from junior colleges. So if a guy goes to a junior college for 2 years, he now still has 4 years of eligibility remaining like any other player would if they were a high schooler going into college, which is a bit strange, and it's a certainly new, unique dynamic that is being presented to the NCAA. So they're granting waivers. And he said, well, I want to play D1. I still want to play D1, go to the College World Series, do stuff that I wanted to do. And I guess over this little span since this came out, which came out about a month ago, all of a sudden, now you got a really high-profile player like Osuna wanting to go back to D1 baseball. And it results in him having to leave his team. He just spent the fall all the way up till just now with them. And then sure enough, as their season begins, he has to leave them. And it's just a weird I get it. Individual first. He wants to be in the position to be in a College World Series run, whatever. I get it. But as a team sort of dynamic, it's certainly scary for the future of college baseball because I don't understand how this wouldn't happen more. Like, it's like the snowball effect, right? Anything, once somebody sees that somebody did it, they're going to do it. It's no different than when the guy first ran a 4-minute mile, sub 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister. Once he did that, everyone started running sub 4-minute miles. So it's a slippery slope. There needs to be some sort of regulation on this, I think, going into effect soon. Obviously, he found a loophole. It's gonna just be what it is for him. I don't really understand why. It's such a weird situation because, I mean, he's been at UNC for 3 years. He played there last year. He played there as a sophomore. He only was at a JUCO for 1 year. So he got his JUCO 1 year of eligibility back. And I don't even know what to say. I just think for him, good for him. That's fine. It's weird that he has to leave his team. I mean, you build a lot of camaraderie over the year, and I think it'll be good for Tampa. It'll be a uniting force for Tampa, and it's probably not going to be that much of a difference for Tennessee. But I think that, I mean, somebody was working real hard all fall, all winter, trying to lock down a first base role at Tennessee, and now their role is in jeopardy with like 2 weeks before the season. It just doesn't. I know life's not fair, it never will be, but it just doesn't feel right. And especially in a team sport like baseball where you can be a baseball GOAT and your team doesn't go anywhere. I mean, look at Mike Trout. Like he's played one postseason baseball game. He's never had a team around him, even though he's one of the greatest baseball players of all time. It just doesn't feel right that he can just jump ship however he pleases. And I guess that's my thought. I don't know. Go down in the comments. Let me know your guys' thoughts. This is obviously pretty earth-shattering news for the college baseball realm. And I think overall it's good for Osuna, but it could be a weird dynamic if more of this happens over the next couple weeks where kids are just leaving schools and hopping over to others, and certainly not the best for the health of college baseball as a whole. So I figured I would touch on this, give my opinion, and we'll see you guys next time.